The alien warlords studied our strategies and laughed. They called us primitive, predictable, weak. Then they struck Earth, expecting surrender. But Earth didn't send its armies. It opened the doors to the past. And 12 veterans, scarred, forgotten, dangerous, walked back into the fight. They weren't there to win a war. They were there to end one. Forever. The Ashari Dominion war room glowed with cold precision. Triangular holos hovered midair, showing human troop formations, outdated carrier deployments, and slow logistical models. To them, Earth's military doctrine was laughable. Linear assaults, redundant fail-safes, emotional decision trees. Primitive, hissed High Commander Reltov, 6 mandibles clicking in amusement. They still use combined arms like it's the age of carbon. His adjutant, General Skelk, nodded. They station guards in fixed formations and assign rank by experience instead of genetic optimization. They're like children playing war. Laughter rippled through the chamber. Behind them hovered an AI simulation model, predicting total planetary surrender within 12 cycles. No serious resistance expected. Human leadership would attempt diplomacy, delay, then collapse. It had happened to 3 other species this year alone. Reltov clicked again. Initiate psychological operations. Broadcast a first strike. Let them know it's not personal. We simply correct inferior civilizations. Yes, High Commander. They didn't fear retaliation. They didn't fear Earth, because they hadn't met what Earth kept in reserve. The first strike was swift. 6 orbital cannons cut through Earth's defense grids. Civilian stations melted in the upper atmosphere. One of Saturn's moons cracked. 2 forward bases near the Martian belt disappeared from all telemetry. The Ashari fleets descended with surgical grace, skipping cities, skipping centers of power. They wanted the humans afraid, not dead. In a broadcast of Earth's governments, Reltov appeared with robes woven in the colors of conquered systems. "We come not to destroy you," he said, smooth and arrogant, "but to teach you how small your war machines are. Lay down your arms. Your simulations are already running on our battle processors. You cannot win." He smiled with all 6 eyes, and the humans responded with silence. The first countermeasure wasn't launched by the Earth military. It came from an unregistered facility beneath an old salt flat in Nevada. No emblem, no satellite tag, just a vault. And inside it, 12 individuals stood silently as the lights flickered on. Men and women, older, scars on scars. Not one war rank, not one saluted. A voice came over the speaker. No name, just command. The Ashari had begun planetary engagement. Losses at 17,000. Civilian. Military restricted by treaty. Directive 7 is now in effect. The 12 didn't blink. They'd been waiting. One of them, tall, eyes cold as dried ice, finally spoke. "Are we cleared?" "Cleared for full engagement." All restrictions lifted. The room shifted, not in lighting, in temperature. Like something ancient and violent had just woken up. The tall one smiled. "Good." In orbit, the Ashari commanders watched as their second wave prepared for pacification runs, non-lethal net drops, sonic compliance generators, light-based retinal inhibitors. They believed humanity would surrender any moment. That belief ended when their central command ship exploded from the inside. No projectile, no energy weapon, just an implosion triggered from beneath the central reactor core, a place shielded, coded, and locked behind triple biometric alien keys. 30,000 Ashari soldiers died without a scream. The remaining ships scrambled. That's when Earth made its first announcement. "We're done running simulations. Now you get to meet the ones who stopped playing fair." They appeared in fragments. Not battalions. Not fleets. Individuals. A woman appeared aboard a Ashari communications ship, having bypassed 2 security nodes mid-orbit. She used no weapons, just her hands and a knife. The ship was found drifting, all occupants dead, and one phrase scratched into the floor. "Payback starts here." A man in a black exosuit walked across Europa's frozen ridge, approached a fully armed artillery crawler, and disabled it by hand. When the backup team arrived, the crawler was folded into itself, like paper, and the man was gone. By the third incident, the Ashari command grid flagged a new variable, unidentifiable human agents, combat rating, unknown/containment, negative. Reltov screamed across his bridge. How? These aren't soldiers. They're civilians. Old. Undisciplined. The AI responded calmly. They do not match Earth's current military files. Cross-referencing match found. Operation Toon Dust. All 12 were decommissioned after the Centauri collapse. Their actions led to the extermination of an entire species. Deemed excessive. Buried. They are Earth's veterans. Reltov froze. No, those were just myths. Psychological warfare stories. Not real. The AI paused, then replied, They're real, and they're angry. In one night, 7 more Dominion ships went dark. The veterans didn't fight like soldiers. They didn't follow formations. They didn't use frequency comms or chain of command tactics. They didn't fight to win. They fought to hurt. They knew what the Ashari cared about: control, honor, lineage, and tore it apart. One hacked their glory archives and replaced them with footage of Ashari soldiers begging for mercy. Another sent the private family coordinates of Reltov's offspring to his own fleet's weapon systems. A third didn't kill anyone. He just whispered to the Ashari psychic net for 7 hours, mimicking dead loved ones until entire crews broke down sobbing. No demands. No negotiations. Just revenge. And by the time Reltov ordered full retreat from Earth's system, 5 of the veterans had already infiltrated their jump gates. Too late to leave, one of them said as a signal broke into every Ashari channel. You brought the war here. We're bringing you the consequences. Ashari Dominion Fleet Command hadn't suffered defeat in 900 cycles. Until Earth. Until the veterans. The last surviving warships limped back into Dominion space with fractured hulls, missing captains, and crew who refused to speak. One dreadnought arrived with no living personnel aboard. Only a message carved into the command throne. You invaded a graveyard. You woke the dead. Panic spread faster than plasma. On Velos Prime, the Dominion's Central War Council convened emergency protocol. Propaganda feeds called the losses tactical setbacks. But in hidden corridors, admirals spoke in whispers. They weren't just soldiers. They enjoyed what they did. High Commander Reltov survived. Burned, half blind, shaking but breathing. And he wanted revenge. Track them, he hissed through scorched lungs. Find these humans. We'll show them what the Dominion does to relics. But the veterans were already ahead of him. The first strike came 3 days later. Not on a military base. On a Dominion academy. The top cadet training facility on Krelver 9. Neutral territory. Supposedly off limits by every known galactic treaty. Lost all power for 10 seconds. When the lights returned, 214 cadets were unconscious. A single word was carved into the floor of the central hall. Untrained. The Dominion initiated maximum security lockdowns across all critical facilities. Didn't matter. Veteran 7, no name, no rank, just legend, walked straight through a Fortress Planet's shield as if it wasn't there. 20,000 Ashari guards responded. He never fired a shot. He just released 97 audio files across the planetary network, raw footage from the Dominion's earliest war crimes, executions, civilians, betrayals, history scrubbed from their archives. The planet collapsed under its own shame. The Dominion began executing prisoners. Anyone suspected of helping the humans. Anyone who hesitated to follow command. But their paranoia only fueled the fires. Because the veterans weren't attacking alone anymore. They were inspiring disgraced Dominion officers, refugee colonies. Species of Dominion had crushed a century ago. All of them started sending one message, over and over. We're listening. Earth didn't claim responsibility. Earth didn't speak at all, because this wasn't Earth's war anymore. It was personal. High Commander Reltov sat inside the vault chamber beneath the Dominion throne, a place never breached, surrounded by shielded AI advisors and neural dampeners. Safe, until the lights flickered. No alarms triggered. No doors breached. He stood. Report. No response. Then a screen lit up. A quiet meadow. A small fire. And a man, one of the 12, sharpening a combat knife slowly. "You remember us now?" The man said without looking up. Reltov froze. "Where? How?" The man raised his eyes. Cold. Empty. Not angry. Just focused. "Do you know what it feels like," he asked calmly, "to be ordered to burn a colony of children because a Dominion warlord thought they were breeding resistance?" Reltov stammered. Those were wartime." "No," the man said. "That was your war. Not ours. Ours starts now." The screen went black. Moments later, every AI advisor in the vault self-deleted. Across Dominion space, systems began falling. Not through bombardment. Through collapse. Forges stopped. Food distribution vanished. Slave control collars unlocked simultaneously across 9 systems. Prison moons erupted in coordinated rebellion. Data archives were wiped clean, replaced by a simple rotating message. "We remember." The Dominion tried to strike back. They assembled Blackguard legions, void-born assassins, psychic hunters. None returned, because the veterans weren't just killing. They were dismantling belief. And now, the people fear them more than they fear the Dominion. Reltov ordered the last contingency, Operation Glassveil, a forbidden weapon, a thought plague designed to fracture neural coherence across a species. It was developed for use against humanity. Now he wanted to use it on humanity's veterans. The delivery drones launched, and never arrived. They detonated mid-space, each overwritten by a single code, old and hidden in Terran archives. "Command override, Ghost Protocol // authorized. Veterans, 12 // outcome. You deserve this." Reltov collapsed. Where does it end?" In the shadows of his war room, a voice whispered, "It doesn't." One of the veterans had been standing there the whole time, unseen, unfelt, watching, waiting. "I want you to understand something," the voice said, stepping into the dim light. "You thought we were obsolete. You thought war was a game. You forgot the cost." He leaned in. "You forgot us." The Dominion hadn't fallen yet, but it was bleeding, and humanity hadn't even raised a fleet. The Ashari Dominion once ruled 2/3 of the known galaxy. Now, only 9 core systems remained. Their border fleets had stopped transmitting. Their command AI had gone silent. Their colonies, once fanatically loyal, refused orders or turned weapons inward. Some planets broadcast ancient Terran music on loop, as if daring the Dominion to respond. But the Dominion couldn't respond, because it wasn't just losing the war. It was losing control. And that was the only thing it ever feared. High Commander Reltov no longer stood tall. His robes were burned, his voice cracked, and his command throne, once a symbol of divine rule, was now bolted to the floor like a cage. Aide after aide defected, died, or vanished. Even the royal guards turned inward, staring at corners, muttering about the ones who walk without warships. He demanded to know where the veterans were now. He got no answer. Until the sky fell. On the 9th day of silence, the moons of Velcara shattered. No explosions, no missiles, just failure. Materials gave way. Structures folded in on themselves. Sensors reported impossible quantum distortion. Dominion scientists wept. Their logic failed them. Their equations failed them. And in the center of the anomaly, a farmhouse, an ancient Earth model, impossible to exist, now orbiting a Dominion capital world. On its porch sat a woman, weathered face, blank eyes, a rusted dog tag in her hand. She didn't speak. She didn't need to. The galaxy remembered her. The veterans moved like rumors. One walked into a Capitol building during an emergency session and sat in the center aisle. Every senator tried to scream. None could. The air wouldn't allow it. He dropped a single data cube onto the floor. Footage spilled from it. Every Dominion betrayal, every broken treaty, every orphaned world. The room collapsed in tears and blood. He stood and left. Not one guard followed. Another veteran took over an entire Dominion broadcast array. His face never appeared. Only his voice. You laughed at our strategies, mocked our code of honor, said we were outdated. You were right. We don't fight like the new generation. We don't ask for treaties. We don't run sims or speak in percentages. We lose friends. We lose limbs. We lose our minds. And then we come back to finish what others couldn't. He paused. You forgot the one thing we never did. We never stop remembering. On Velos Prime, Reltoth watched cities turn their lights off voluntarily, not out of fear of attack, out of respect. Entire continents went dark as if mourning their own empire. Reltoth, trembling, finally gave the order. Surrender. All of it. Tell the galaxy we yield. But Earth never asked for surrender, and the veterans never sent terms, because this wasn't about territory. It was about truth. The final strike didn't hit a military facility or a palace. It hit the Vault of Erasure, a hidden Dominion archive containing every erased atrocity, every war crime buried, every lie told to preserve the Empire's image. It was encoded beyond comprehension. Didn't matter. The vault doors opened, and across the galaxy, everyone saw everything. Billions wept, trillions revolted. The Dominion crumbled, not from weapons, but from witnessing what it truly was. Years later, the galaxy tried to rebuild. Earth said nothing. The veterans vanished again. No medals, no broadcasts, no monuments. Just whispers. They weren't generals. They weren't saviors. They were what happens when you push humans too far. And the next empire that tried would remember one truth etched in fire across the ruins of the Dominion. Don't mistake patience for weakness. Don't mistake age for peace. And never, ever underestimate those who survived the last war.